fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. All right, guys, appreciate that. And shout out to 1775 Coffee. Let's get back to the show.
And I didn't say it wasn't legal.
So then what did he do that was illegal?
Assault federal law enforcement when he does that. That's an active law enforcement crime
Where do you
scene
see in the video that he was
decided to enter into?
Where do you see in the video that he was assaulting law enforcement? Because from everything we have seen, law enforcement was assaulting him when he was there trying to help another individual.
Dana, law enforcement doesn't assault anyone. Follow directions of law
Like
enforcement.
I said, though, he actually stepped up to law enforcement first. He's the one who pushed law enforcement back. And I mean, after that, I'm be real with you, it's kind of, well, as we say, it's up from there. If he'd have never came in, and I know he was trying to protect that citizen, but he was obstructing a law enforcement at the same time. So sorry, but it is what it is on that note. But all right, though. Let's see here. About to bring in Monty in a second.
Directions of law enforcement in an active crime scene. It's very evident he didn't want to do that. Very evident that the other individuals didn't want to do that. And it's too bad the consequences had to be paid because he injected himself into that crime scene. I can't say that enough. He made the decision to go there. We didn't make the decision to talk to him. We didn't even know that individual was in existence until he came into that crime scene.
I want to go back to video number 1 because you keep saying that he injected himself into the crime scene. He was a guy on the street filming an operation. He was far away. He wasn't on the crime scene. And what I want you to see again is that law enforcement appears by the video we have to be approaching him and the person who is next to him, not the other way around. And so what I want to know is what evidence do you have that he went after law enforcement?
Sure. The fact that he was standing in the middle of the road, there was interaction between him, the bystanders, and law enforcement. And again, follow directions of law enforcement. He doesn't need to be in the middle of a crime scene. Dan, I don't think you would want to be in the middle of a crime scene, or you would want civilians in the middle of a crime scene injecting themselves into something that is none of their business at all.
True.
Can you also just answer?
I mean, that's very true. And shout out to my man. Hold on, let me go ahead and catch up on the super chats. Shout out to my man Parabolic Curvature. He said, at this point, I don't care about yours or ICE rationalization of the event. He is gone. ICE are not de-escalating. Shields, all you want at this point. I mean, Parabolic, look, bro, honestly, we're not even defending it. Be real with
it's
you,
an
dog.
unjustified. It's an unjustified homicide. It's not a murder. It's not an execution. I've heard all of it going. It is a wrongful death. They escalated the use of force triangle too fast.
Yep.
And the guy clearly, unless he had another gun on him, which they're not reporting, the guy clearly saw a gun based off of, when the guy in the green jacket pulled his gun out of his holster. That in a confusing situation, you see a print of a gun on a struggling suspect, and he yells out gun. They acted too quickly, but I still think, in as far as homicides go, it is a justified homicide, but a wrongful death. It's a bad shoot. It's a bad shoot.
All right, but shout out to Parabolic Curvature. He says, if you heard Dana said, if you heard what Dana said, it's human to help someone up, and you think she said it's okay to obstruct, then this is why I say you're still for them. Here's the problem. I mean, I'm still for the ICE, what ICE is doing in their mission, but here's the problem, dog. It's human to help someone up, but when you do it to obstruct law enforcement, when you got to stop at law enforcement to do so, that's obstruction. You don't know what he's doing that for. She could have been doing anything, committing a crime, or just getting in the way. And he's allowed to sit there and push them back. What he's not allowed to do is go up there and tell that officer, oh, back him off, throw him off. As an armed man, by the way, push this guy back and tell him, no, you're not doing this. It's like, you can't do that to an officer. Like, bro, go ahead and try it. I mean, shoot, next time an officer got somebody pulled over on the side of the highway, pull up, push that officer, said, leave this man alone. Will you do it? Of course not.
So just for the record, when he pushes an ICE officer away, that is assault on a federal agent. That is also obstructing. The reason ICE contacted him is because they did not want him in the area. They did not want him around them for whatever reason. Maybe a car needed to come through. You don't know. You don't get to be the arbitrator of what ICE, a federal law enforcement with a federal mandate, gets to do. Now, with all that being said, he was armed while breaking a law, which is considered assault with a deadly weapon, even though he did not have his gun drawn. Even if you drive drunk with a loaded gun in your glove box, you're still committing a crime with a weapon. Now, does any of that mean that he should be shot down in the street? I think I counted like 9 or 10 times. Absolutely not.
Nope.
But there is an escalation to this, and he, as a citizen, has an obligation not to resist any sort of law enforcement actions. He can't. No one can resist, whether it's a lawful detainment or it's just them rounding people up. You cannot resist under the color of the law. Can't do it. He decided that he wanted to be Captain Save-A-Ho, and the situation escalated. Why? Because, like the guy said, he injected himself into something that was none of his fucking business.
All right, but hold on, Monty. And shout out
Sorry.
Tove for sending in the $1.50. Appreciate the support, Tove. And shout out Tove, by the way. I mean, congratulations. So shout out to the ex-member to the family. And all right, and Parabolic, because I know Parabolic, I know he ain't trying to hear it.
He's ready to cook me.
He says, keep the rationale to yourself. I'm just telling you, bro, we get it, dog. Trust me, we get it. We don't really agree. I don't agree with how this went down either. But yeah. I keep trying to tell you guys, like, do you know that, like, bro, the Democratic base is being provoked to do this by y'all leaders. I mean, like I said, I know you kind of took this, like you mischaracterized it, but bro, I'm gonna have to stand on this. When she sit there and said, oh, that's just what a normal person would do, or that's what any good person would do, is help somebody up. Yeah, sure, but not while an officer pushed that person down. And be honest with you,
I'm not.
Like, I know it sounds effed up to say, but when that officer pushed that person down, that is that's right there. That's a law enforcement situation. You cannot get involved, especially as a random person walking up armed.
Hey, Seth, you notice how everybody else that was, quote, just filming didn't get into the middle of the fray?
True.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
Everybody else that was just filming, or anybody else that's been pushed down, you don't see people start fighting with law enforcement officers. That's what he was doing. He was fighting with law enforcement officers. And when you fight and you are armed, the chances of you dying goes up like 60%.
Man. And all right, guys, and I went ahead and posted the Rumble link. So if you want to go ahead and join us over there on Rumble, that's where the party's at right now. But all right, let's get back to it.
To the question about the gun, because again, do you have any evidence?
And shout out to my man Anonymous. He says 6 months clean and sober. And hold on, man, we got to give you a shout out for that one too, though. Man, it's a good day. It's a good day for the chat, man. Actually, it's a really good day for our members. Man, I love you guys, man. So I'm glad y'all having a good one.
That he was brandishing his weapon. Did he?
He wasn't brandishing a weapon.
On the weapon.
No, he wasn't.
No.
Yeah. Again, the officers on the ground, in that melee, we hear gun, gun, gun. So that gun at some point became visible to officers.
But could it have been because they had him on the ground and maybe his shirt came up and they saw that it was on him? That doesn't mean that he was.
And that is why we have an investigation, Dana.
Fine.
That is what we are investigating. You're not going to know that now, and I'm not going to know that.
I think an investigation is great, but the Homeland Security Secretary said he was brandishing a weapon. Do you
That's a lie.
Evidence that we haven't seen that he was?
I don't know what's up with Chrissy Noem, bro. She be taking shit too far. Like when she tried to say, oh, Renee Good's a domestic terrorist, I'm like, bro, you shouldn't have said that. You could have walked off perfectly without saying that. And then here she go, oh, he was in brandishing a weapon. It's like
he wasn't.
He wasn't. Like he wasn't.
You didn't know he had a gun until you were on top of him.
Yeah, like bro, they didn't really know he had a gun until he was on top of him. And bro, they didn't even know when his gun was taken away, in my personal opinion. Because if they'd have knew the gun was taken away, they'd have been no reason
they wouldn't have shot him.
Yeah. So honestly, I think the guy who honestly took the gun probably should have did a better job of letting these guys know, like tapping them like, I got it. Like, just put him down.
Yeah.
But
you don't I don't see, if you can't see his hands, then that's one thing. If like, so it really just depends on how the specific officer felt in the moment, did he feel like he was at risk for loss of life or limb? Yes or no? That's how that works. Like if he doesn't see a gun but sees that he doesn't see hands or sees hands reaching for something, I'm not gonna wait. Are you gonna wait until someone pulls a gun and points it at you before you shoot them?
Well, especially if I know they got it on them. Like, of course not.
Exactly.
And
So it
especially if they're
doesn't.
trying to stop what I'm doing. Oh,
Yeah,
with the gun on them. Okay, no, sorry, you're a threat now.
I'm going home to my family, and like decisions like that take less than a second to make are the difference between life and death. You going
And,
home or them going home.
and this was not fair about it, because if Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, would just bring out the local police and do some type of crowd control, this would never happen.
Exactly, my guy. I'm glad you're 100,000% right. If this guy was not allowed to be in the scene, and the real law enforcement, as fucking Tampon Tim wants to call it, were actually on the scene and pushing protesters back, this would have never. You're 100% right. This would have never happened. He would have never been there. So
Well, he wouldn't be able to
everybody.
get close.
No, exactly. They would have set up a perimeter around them because this is a riot. The state of Minnesota declared it an unlawful assembly. It's not a peaceful protest anymore, guys.
Yeah, I lost that. But all right, let's get back to it.
Brandishing a weapon.
He brought a semi-automatic weapon to a riot, assaulted federal officers, and at some point they saw that weapon. So I do believe the secretary is 100% spot on in what she said. Why would you bring a weapon and assault a federal officer if you did not have intent?
Okay, that's completely twisting the narrative. I don't like how he said that.
Hold on, real quick. Shoot,
Yeah.
hold on. Let him finish real quick, and then I'm gonna bring you in on it.
Spot on in what she said.
Why
would you bring a weapon and assault a federal officer if you did not have intent to harm or delay or obstruct that federal officer with a weapon?
You keep saying that he assaulted a federal officer.
Well, I'm be honest with you.
Did.
Yeah, he did actually. If we do look at the whole video, yeah, sad.
Let's break this down, because he does have a right to carry that gun. Everybody that's saying, "Oh, he shouldn't have a gun on him," no, a leftist is just as much allowed to carry a gun as somebody on the right. And by all definitions, he was carrying that gun legally. I completely disagree with concealed carry permits. I think there should be constitutional carry, but that's just my opinion.
Boom.
But I do not put the fact that he carried a gun into that situation against him in any way, shape, or form. We have a Second Amendment right. You should not be murdered for having your Second Amendment right exercised. Period. End of story. End of story. But that is not why that happened. That is not why he died. He died because when law enforcement contacted him, whether wrongfully or appropriately, whatever, he decided that he was going to resist with violence. He did not assault a law enforcement officer until he himself was attacked or detained or whatever word you want to use for it. He was confronted. So Dana is right in all of those things. Even as far as saying, it's normal for someone to want to go pick somebody up off the ground. I agree with you, S.E.T. I'm not going to go try to pick somebody up off the ground that the police just put on the ground. So that is interfering. Now you're interfering with a weapon. You're stacking felonies on top of each other, and you're putting yourself in a dangerous position. Now, honestly, for what this guy did, and this is going to be a very hot take, so just calm down. For what this guy did, he is a hero. And let me explain why I say that.
All right, let's hear it.
So he is a hero because he saw what he thought to be injustice and stood up to it. That is the definition of a hero. In his world, ICE is unjust. In his world, he sees some unjust shit going on, and he decides that he is going to put himself in the middle of it and try to protect other people, and he lost his life for that. Now, legally, no, he's not a hero. But for all intents and purposes, what was in his heart, he is a hero.
And he's gonna be a hero now. I'm gonna tell you this right now. He's gonna be a hero now. So I can see where they're gonna spin this. And here's the thing. I mean, honestly, like I said, I get what Dana was saying. Like, oh well, any human would help somebody. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, when law enforcement's involved, yeah, think a little differently about it. It's like, do I really want to get over there and fight law enforcement for the lady that I put
You're
on the
making
ground?
it more complicated.
Yeah, it's like,
Just the fact
bruh.
they
And now
weren't going after
I know
him.
what I know what a liberal would say. What if it was your mom? Then you're right. I probably would have to get involved.
That wasn't his mom.
It wasn't his mom. Trust me, I already heard the argument of somebody saying, "Oh, what if it was your mom or sister?" I'd be like, "Bro, I'm be honest with you. I'm
I'd
not
tell
just
my
gonna
mom
go."
stop fighting.
Honestly, if I had my gun, honestly, I would have probably put my gun. I'd have probably left my gun on the side. Then went and go get involved. To be honest with you, because I don't even want them thinking that I'm that type of threat.
Yeah, I would tell my mom to stop fighting.
Yeah, that too. Though.
I would say, hey, and she would know better.
Yeah.
But if that was my mom struggling,
yeah.
I just all of like you said, none of this would have happened if ICE wasn't called the Nazis and they weren't called the Gestapo and they weren't accused of just gunning people down. Because even in this situation, they didn't just gun somebody down. There's this thing called the fog of war, and the fact that we can slow this down all we want, but this happened in less than 2 seconds. Like, stop trying to demonize authority figures. That's really what this boils down to. Because the same people that are talking about, we have real police officers were throwing their police officers under the bus during the Summer of Love. So
true. Like, bro, the real police officers y'all talking about, like, your mayor doesn't even want to dispatch. So
yeah,
like, what's going on there?
They let them do their job, and this wouldn't happen. They weren't going after Peretti. They were going after an illegal immigrant who was already violent. Like, come on, guys, stop. Do better.
All right, though, let's get back to it. Shout out Bonte, man. Oh, guys, let's not forget to like the video or double tap that screen, guys. Appreciate the support.
But again, we have not seen evidence that happened. It looked like he was on the defense, and again, he had a gun legally. It's sort of feels like
it's legal until he uses it for a crime.
Law enforcement and conservatives who are very pro Second Amendment saying the problem was that he had a gun legally.
No, the problem is, as I said,
the problem is you try to obstruct an officer while armed.
That's illegal. You don't have the gun legally. So for everybody that doesn't know and has suddenly become a Second Amendment fan, welcome to the Second Amendment community. I've been waiting for you. If you are using a gun in the commission of a crime, you are not legally carrying the gun, even if you have a permit to do so. Your permit does not allow you to obstruct federal agents with your gun. It allows you to protect yourself in certain situations that are considered lawful. This is not a lawful situation. His concealed carry permit means absolutely nothing other than he wasn't a prohibited person from carrying it. He committed a crime while in possession of a firearm. That is a crime in and of itself. It's its own separate crime.
No, you ain't lying. Oh, guys, we got like 14 of y'all on Rumble, man. Make sure y'all like the video, guys, on Rumble, man. Let's go ahead and push or break ourselves
to the algorithm
on Rumble. Yep. Let's go ahead and break through on Rumble since YouTube playing games.
Bro, you already got twice the amount of people on Rumble that you did on YouTube. But you're not shadow banned.
I know, right? You know, this is all just normal. This is how it works, Monty. It's the season, they said. I was like, okay, bro. Yeah,
it's the season. They don't want to hear the black guy on the internet anymore.
I guess so. I guess I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's like, oh, bro, you wasn't causing too much turmoil, man. You didn't pick a side. I was like, what? It's like you was either all the way Mac or all the way Kamala. There's only could be one.
Yeah, you didn't agree with Kristi Noem when she said it was a domestic terrorist, and then you also didn't agree with CNN when they said it was an execution.
Yep. They said, nah, man, we don't like the middle ground here. It's either you're a radical left or radical right. I was like, damn, okay.
But I don't think that this was a good shoot. I mean, I think in the eyes of the law enforcement officer perceived a threat. I'm not gonna sit here and speculate on what he thought, but if he were a good person and not corrupt, this is what he would be thinking. It would be that someone has a gun, I see them reaching for it, I don't want to die. and that is reasonable enough to to use deadly force. It the facts of the matter, though, with hindsight, say that this is a wrongful death, and this family is going to get paid. Not that it's going to bring their. I'm like this. Like, let's not throw this guy through the mud. This guy isn't some weird leftist that decided that he wanted to go and block the street. That he didn't do any of this. He got, he did not let the temperature turn down and decided that he was going to insert himself. He didn't try to run anybody over. He didn't try to pull his gun. As far as we can tell, right? He's an ICU nurse. He's an
he just tried to
ICU
get in the
nurse.
way of the ICE officer and the lady he pushed down.
He was being a hero in his world. And there's consequences to your actions. I don't think they should have been death, and especially as many times as they shot him.
Yeah.
Good God, they unloaded on him.
The ground, they was still shooting. I was like, and y'all went too far. I was like, okay, and y'all went too far now. Not the man's laying lifeless on the ground, y'all still shooting. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
He injected himself. He put himself where he did not need to be. He put himself in and put law enforcement officers in jeopardy through his actions.
Good point.
These were his actions, not law enforcement officers' action. We had to react to an individual that came there for a specific reason. And again, what that reason is, we're going to find more out about that in the
that doesn't matter. No.
Hold on, bro. Let it finish.
That doesn't matter why he came there.
And again, what that reason is, we're going to find more out about that in the coming days. I'll be interested to see what his reason for being there while Border Patrol agents were arresting a violent criminal illegal alien doing their
that doesn't change anything
duties in Minneapolis. That's the question.
Why he was there doesn't matter.
It was obvious. He was there to protest.
He was there to protest.
Seen a lady get pushed down, and he got involved, and that's what got him killed.
Yeah.
Sadly,
but he's trying to insinuate that he was there for some nefarious purpose, as if to defend what he knows is not a good shoot into some.
Bro, they don't got to do all this though. It's like, bro, y'all don't.
No, they don't.
It's okay to admit that y'all made a mistake. I hope y'all know that.
Exactly. But I mean, as soon as here's why they're not doing that. Mm-hmm. As soon as they admit that they made a mistake, they're going to want to crucify that man. And he made a mistake that cost somebody their life. At worst, he should not be a law enforcement officer anymore. But in their world, they should fucking ring out the guillotine for him.
No, somebody said something interesting in the chat. Somebody says, well, what if this guy says, let's be real. If he said, I have a gun and I'm going to shoot you, let's be real. He wouldn't be getting in the way of an ICE officer trying to push him back with one hand.
He'd be committing threats.
Yeah, I mean, bro would have pulled out that gun or started waving around and said, what y'all about to do? I mean, that would have been a more,
And this whole narrative that this is suicide by cop and that he intended to massacre the police. Enough of that bullshit. None of that is even relevant. You want to talk about people turning the temperature down, but yet you're going to say some inflammatory shit like that when everybody has fucking eyeballs.
Literally. It's like, bro, I don't know. I don't care how y'all try to clean this up. It's best y'all just be honest and be like, yo, this was not a good shot.
No.
We was with ICE on Renee Good. We was like, all right, y'all got it on that one. Everybody's calling it murder, but we see it's self-defense. This one, bro, wrongful death for sure. I mean, to be honest with you guys. Like,
it's not murder. It's not murder. It's not even negligent homicide. It's a wrongful death because it's by the definition of the law, he was entitled to shoot him because of what he perceived. Now, and you can't argue with that. You can't argue with what the man saw or what the man felt. And if he swears under oath that I thought I saw a gun and I thought I saw someone reaching for that gun in the arms and legs of tangle of that guy, I was trying to protect other people from getting shot because I recognize the gun is not one of ours, then yes, that is a legal shoot. It is a wrongful death because he didn't have a gun. Yeah. Or let's not mince words. He didn't have a gun and he was mowed down.
All right.
Oh, but the question is also, why is an American citizen now dead for the second time who was there to
because your
document,
rhetoric
in this case, and clearly to be there as a bystander, which is his First Amendment right.
He wasn't there to clearly document anything. Don't socially engineer the topic, Dana. He was not there to document.
Appeared
he
to
came
be.
there for
That's
a reason.
fair. Appeared
and
to be.
obfuscated and delayed officers there on the scene. That's pretty evident to me.
I want to ask you about your agents. You said that this was a highly trained agent who had been serving on Border Patrol for 8 years. What was he trained for? Because these are your Border Patrol agents, and they're now in the interior of the country, in American cities. Was he trained in urban policing?
Yes.
Basic law enforcement.
Are trained.
Hold on, Monty. Hold on, Monty. We got to let the video play out a little bit. And your mic is kind of loud, so you're like immediately talking over the video.
Oh, man. You've given me God powers.
In the interior of the country, in American cities. Was he trained in urban policing?
Yes, all of our Border Patrol agents are trained in all for all types of environments.
Yeah, most of them are ex-law enforcement. So yeah, most of them are trained in law enforcement. The problem is when you let the public or you let these protesters do whatever they want, this is what's gonna happen. I mean, honestly, there's no amount of training that can prepare them for this.
So
yeah,
BLET, which is what every law enforcement officer must go through, whether they're Border Patrol, they're ICE, they're DHS. At some point, they have to have gone through BLET. And if they haven't, if they're a brand new hire, they're going to go through BLET. BLET is what she's referring to as urban law enforcement.
Yeah, and I know, and that's what I was saying. I'm like, they're ex-law enforcement, so if they didn't do it then, they definitely had to do it before they hopped out with the ICE badge on,
with a badge and a gun.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, but like they keep trying to push this rhetoric as if they're untrained and all this good stuff. But that's not true. That's not true whatsoever. Remember, there are a lot of vets. There's a lot of ex-law enforcement. I mean, and then probably small groups from security teams. But I'm sorry, these are not untrained people.
I want to reiterate that and be very specific every time we say that, so that there is no doubt in people's minds, because what she's doing is, you're right, she's pushing more rhetoric that she knows is false. She's lying, and the only way to show a lie is to tell the truth.
Including urban policing, this particular Border Patrol agent had 8 years with some specific skill sets there with both firearms and less lethal munitions. Also, let's take a look at the training and the environments that Border Patrol agents operate in. We operate in places like San Diego, California, Tucson, Arizona, New Orleans. All those have Border Patrol sectors. Detroit, Michigan. We've got Border Patrol sectors in Buffalo. So this myth, and I saw this just last night on CNN, this myth that Border Patrol agents don't work in urban areas is just that. It's a myth. We're well adept at urban areas, conducting that Title VIII immigration enforcement wherever we go. It doesn't matter if it's a desert or an urban environment. We're very well adept at doing that.
Is the agent or agents, is it your understanding that more than one agent fired a weapon at Alex Pretty?
Again, that's going to be part of the investigation. I'm not going to speculate on how many shots or who shot or that type of thing, because I don't know.
Are the agents who were involved still on the job?
Yes, they're these Border Patrol agents are going to more than likely be on administrative duty, but they will remain Border Patrol agents. Yes.
What does that mean? So they'll be off the streets for a bit?
Not in Minneapolis, they will, but only in Minneapolis. Here, they'll be at a different location.
Okay. And before I let you go, I just want to butt.
Oh, Sid's in the chat.
Point that you were making about what Alex Pretty was doing there. Do you accept that it is the law that an individual has a right to film what law enforcement is doing?
I believe that all citizens of the United States have those First and Fourth Amendment rights, as long as they do so peacefully and don't delay, obstruct, or assault anyone in doing that. And that's the issue here, because he was not peacefully doing anything.
All right. And just for the record, and we've seen this video multiple times from multiple angles, there is no evidence that he was doing anything other than being peaceful until the altercation began. Again, I look forward to seeing the other evidence.
So she's conflating the fact that he's not
to the bottom of this, and do want to get
all of the. Go ahead.
She's conflating the fact that he's not throwing fists and pulling the gun out with that he's not obstructing. Obstruction is not peaceful protest. It is not violence. as defined as what violence is, but it is not peaceful protest. There are limits to the First Amendment. There are limits to the Second Amendment. There are limits to the Fifth Amendment. Now, should this like come? Why do I have to explain civics and economics to everybody?